The best part about going to work is getting a raise. However, making money can sometimes come with high risks. Let's take a look at the 8 most dangerous jobs in the world, where one wrong move could be fatal. A moment of inattention could lead to being swallowed by the sea, and changing a light bulb can earn you $600,000. But working just one day every 6 months is not something to be envied. What are these professions? NUMBR8. Signal tower workers. The defining characteristic of signal towers is their height. Similarly, the income of signal tower workers can also be described in one word: high. It's hard to imagine that these workers can earn hundreds of thousands just for changing a light bulb. There's no such thing as a free lunch. A light bulb costing hundreds of thousands is not easy to handle. One moment of inattention can turn that high pay into a tragic loss of life. Currently, the signal towers that are commonly found stand at heights of several hundred meters. To put it in perspective, the average height of a floor is about 3 meters. Imagine how terrifying several hundred meters can be. Workers are secured with safety ropes as they climb to install light bulbs at these extreme heights. During this process, if they slip with their hands, the light bulb could fall and cause an accident. If they slip with their feet, they could easily become the accident themselves. Some might argue that they have safety devices. Indeed, they have hard hats and safety ropes. But the reality is that no safety equipment in the world can guarantee 100% safety. In addition to the safety hazards, a young man who worked abroad for several years mentioned that climbing up and down signal towers requires tremendous physical strength, especially in the summer. Individuals who aren't in good shape might find themselves exhausted after climbing just a few dozen meters. This job has high demand, but doesn't necessarily provide suitable positions for workers. And given the level of danger involved, it's not surprising that the pay is relatively high. In NUMBR7, cliff honey gatherers. In Nepal, many members of the Gurung community engage in the perilous profession of cliff honey gathering. For them, going hungry from one meal to the next is quite common. But it's not just about the money. It's because they could lose their lives at any moment while working. The most valuable honey on the market is typically found high on mountain cliffs. When the time is right, honey gatherers must travel light, set up a soft ladder near the beehive, and carefully consider the angle of the cliff and their climbing route. In short, the journey is fraught with danger. The cliffs are steep, and a fall could be fatal for those who are afraid of heights. Just looking down could be enough to send them into a panic. Falling from a cliff is one danger, and the second is the toxicity of the bees. Some bees produce particularly sweet honey, but they can also possess significant venom. If a honey gatherer disturbs a hive while moving it, the bees may swarm and attack. While the venom from a single bee isn't usually lethal, being attacked by several sometimes dozens can lead to a dangerous accumulation of toxins that could cost the gatherer their life. Given this context, it's understandable why some types of honey can sell for thousands of dollars per kilogram. In NUMBR6, coal miners, poisoning in mines, gas explosions, KVNS. The occupational risks associated with coal miners have been numerous over the years. This profession is recognized worldwide as one of the most dangerous jobs. The working conditions in mines are difficult to describe. Miners primarily work underground, where it is dark and damp, and the oxygen levels in the air are alarmingly low. If their bodies can't handle it, workers can easily faint in the mine or even die on the spot. In addition to the poor environment, the likelihood of accidents in coal mines is particularly high. Whether from poisoning, explosions, or being crushed, surviving such incidents is a stroke of luck. It's no wonder that many coal miners mentally prepare themselves each day before heading to work, often leaving home with the mindset that it could be the last time they see their loved ones. This is because it's very possible that it truly could be their final farewell. Although the profession of coal mining is extremely dangerous, the barriers to entry are low, and competition is minimal. As a result, many continue to enter this industry despite the risks. NUMBR5, high-altitude window cleaners. Window cleaners are a common sight in our daily lives, but high-altitude window cleaning involves a different level of skill and complexity. These workers must perform their tasks while suspended by ropes, cleaning the exteriors of tall buildings. The taller the building, the higher they must be suspended. High-altitude window cleaners face major dangers, one of which is the obvious risk associated with height. Similar to signal tower workers, working at high elevations means they must entrust their lives to ropes. If a rope were to break, it would almost certainly lead to the death of the cleaner. In 1989, there was a tragic accident where a window cleaner fell to the ground, and the scene was nothing short of gruesome. The second major danger is inclement weather, especially thunderstorms. Sometimes, lightning strikes without warning, and if workers are suspended in midair, they could be struck. If there is a lightning rod nearby, they might be safe. If not, they become live targets during a storm. And UMB are for stunt performers. In the entertainment industry, celebrities enjoy high visibility and significant earnings. However, behind them is a group of unsung heroes whose contributions are crucial. Without these individuals, many classic action films might never have been created. These individuals are stunt performers, and they hold one of the most dangerous jobs in the film and television industry. Stunt performers are the ones who handle the dirty and physically demanding work in terrifying shooting scenarios such as car jumps, building leaps, explosions, and intense physical confrontations. Famous actors often refuse to participate, leaving these tasks to the stunt performers. They may need to jump from 7 or 8 stories onto the ground without any protective measures, leap through windows, escape from explosion sites, or walk on tightropes all by themselves. No one can guarantee that accidents won't occur during filming, so injuries among stunt performers are particularly common. It is said that in the Hong Kong entertainment industry of the last century, it was not unusual for stunt performers to die on set when a director simply waves his hand to have a body removed and compensates a sum of money. Is seen as closing the case, and filming continues. One could say that the lives of stunt performers are not highly valued. NUMB are 3 sulfur reporters. On the islands of Indonesia, there is a group of sulfur reporters whose daily work involves dealing with active volcanoes. They extract sulfur from the crater and the areas with the most magma, then find ways to transport it out. Sulfur is toxic, and this is well understood. In daily life, the sulfur that people commonly use is of low concentration or small quantities. However, these workers must closely interact with high concentrations of sulfur daily, and they rely on manual labor to transport it. Over time, the toxins from the sulfur can infiltrate their bodies, adversely affecting their health. Even if they are lucky and in good health, without much impact from the sulfur, they still face numerous dangers during their daily work. The paths in and out of the active volcano's crater are extremely narrow, and if their footing is off by even a little, they could fall into a pool of lava. No exaggeration, within just 1 second, a living person could be engulfed by the scalding, boiling magma. Transporting sulfur is essentially a gamble with their lives against the forces of nature. NUMB are 2 power line technicians. Power line technicians can be divided into ordinary circuit repairers and high voltage repairers. It's evident that the latter are risking their lives. The safe voltage that the human body can withstand is only 36 V, while the standard household voltage is 220 V. However, the voltage on high voltage circuits is many times higher. If an ordinary person comes into contact with it, it's no exaggeration to say they could instantly become a firework. Therefore, those working on high voltage repairs must not only ensure they have the necessary insulation protection but also remain vigilant to avoid the risk of electrical leaks. They must not create a pathway between their legs, otherwise they risk being electrocuted. Every year, accidents occur worldwide, resulting in the deaths of high voltage technicians while on the job. Although technology continues to advance, there are currently no better methods to protect these high-risk workers. NUMB are 1 Alaskan crab fishermen. The waters off the coast of Alaska are located at the convergence of ocean currents, rich in various species of fish, shrimp, and seafood, especially the prize king crab, which is considered a delicacy. To enjoy high-quality king crab at the dinner table, one must rely on the skill of Alaskan crab fishermen. During the crab catching season, they spend 24 hours a day at sea, always prepared to spring into action. The icy seawater crashes against their bodies, and the extreme cold combined with intense fatigue often leaves them mentally exhausted and unable to focus. If someone loses concentration and doesn't pay attention to their footing, they could easily be swept into the swirling waters and completely consumed by the currents. Others may suffer from sudden cardiac arrest due to the extreme labor intensity and ocean pressure, quietly dying in the sea. Therefore, crab fishing is indeed a high-risk profession. On average, during their peak working period, 1 crab fisherman dies each week. The higher the danger, the greater the reward. An experienced crab fisherman can earn around $20,000 in a single day. This is a classic case of working hard for a short period, but reaping the benefits for an entire year. If the king crabs are active, they can work continuously for 4 to 5 days. However, if the currents are not favorable that year, they might only have about 2 days of work. On average, it sounds decent to work just 1 day every 6 months. These are the 8 most dangerous jobs in the world. There's a saying that money doesn't come easy. Behind high incomes inevitably lie countless risks and challenges.